Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 35, It Would Be My Honor. To briefly recap last episode, we started off by having a bit of a cold snap, which forced us to harvest the fields a little early, wasting definitely a whole lot of crop. We also had a large prison break, and that explains why a lot of these prisoners are wounded. And then we did a drone hack up here, and that ended and resulted in our slaves getting injured. So we have a lot of injuries in the colony right now. This episode, I'm definitely going to sell some additional prisoners. Basically, 2 every episode until I have no more left. But Valeria in the YouTube comments mentioned that I ignored the fact that these guys have some nuturamine, and nuturamine is something I'm still looking to buy. The wealth that we've accumulated so far is about 263,000, and as promised, once I hit about 300,000, which is 50,000 short of our goal, I am going to be putting up a poll on Discord about how we're going to manage the first Archonexus transition. So, if you haven't joined Discord yet, the link can be found in the description. So let's buy some nuturamine. And I think I'm going to spend some money here because there's not really much I want to sell. Oh, I guess I can always sell corsets. All right, fine. You can have a few extra silver. There we go, and they're leaving. It was like perfectly timed. I'd also like to do the ancient complex. I do think it's a little dangerous to do when I have such a large prisoner and slave population. One of the reasons why, and this was another YouTube comment, why I haven't enslaved these guys for extra labor is the more slaves that you have, and I cover this in the slave tutorial, which you can find in the description of this video, but the more slaves that you have, the more often that they will try to rebel. And if I enslaved all that you see here, my slave rebellions would be more frequent and a lot more dangerous for me. If the slaves rebelled right now, it is a 5-to-8 ratio. So the 5 of us with guns and armor against the 8 of them. They do have shield belts, but I think we'd win. If I enslaved all 10 of the current prisoners, that would be 5 versus 18. I would definitely risk potentially losing that fight, especially if they went rebelling at a particularly sensitive time. Like in the middle of a raid, they turned on me or something like that. It's what I want to avoid. Bunny, let's have you learn water skip before you go to sleep. And also a little reminder that last episode we also installed a lot of bionics, additional bionics like these learning assistants, which is going to help us to become sort of superhumans, I suppose. But Bunny still has her learning assistant yet to be installed. So now that she's headed to sleep, we'll get that going right now. And I'm going to get that going with Trustin because he is a quick sleeper, so he doesn't need to sleep very long. So that's the last implant that needs to be installed. Done. Great. Once Bunny's anesthesia wears off, I'll probably have her run pretty early on to Lindsay City to go and sell 2 more of my slaves, or prisoners rather. And then if there's time and not negative events, I'll try to do the ancient complex as well. The slaves here are trying to resow all the farm fields that had died off. As you can see, it's very patchy as a result of the cold snap. I lost not all the crops, which would have been terrible, but I lost maybe 1/3 to 2/3 or so. But it could be worse. We're also probably going to see the wealth skyrocket pretty soon. And this is a result of all of the high quality double strand. One of the things to note is that depending on the material, Devil Strand versus cloth, for instance, Devil Strand is worth a whole lot more. So 2 objects, one of Devil Strand and one of cloth, of the same quality, same type. Obviously, the Devil Strand will be worth considerably more than just standard cloth. So one of the reasons why I have so many Devil Strand fields is it's a really effective way to drive up colony wealth without sort of artificially inflating it. There are some ways to sort of artificially inflate colony wealth, and depending on who you ask, one can view it as maybe a exploit, or perhaps just a little bit too effective. But either way, we are the Archotechs, so I want to earn my wealth through crafting. So here's a good example. This masterwork is worth 275, and this masterwork is worth 725. The two are not that similar in price. So other things that we could try to do is an Arc Invitation. I haven't really done a whole lot of rituals lately because we have all the development points that we need to reform. I'm just waiting to reform until we complete the first Archonexus. But a sacrifice or a ritual, that might be able to provide some happiness for the slaves that I have in attendance, to also reduce the slave rebellion risk. Because there's always a risk of my slaves rebelling, even though I am controlling them pretty meta. But a rebellion once every 10 years could come tomorrow, or it could come in 9 years from now. There's really no telling when that will strike. It is chance, and it is random. There was another thing that I wanted to do, and perhaps we'll be able to do it this episode, which is to change Sven and Bunny's focal points for meditation. If I manage to get a legendary art piece, and let's hit production command to speed up the production. If I get a legendary art piece, I might be able to use that as a meditation point, as legendary and masterwork art pieces can allow a Psycaster the most effective meditation point. So what I could start to do here is set up a meditation room, which will be the first physical structure that I've added to this colony in sort of a long time. I'm going to add it back here. Oh, this is all soft sand though, isn't it? I'll add it behind the throne room, I guess. It doesn't need to be that large. We'll slap 2 doors here. And this room is going to be exclusively for meditation, so not that important. I think what I'll do here is to put down a little stockpile of limestone. Make this important. Put limestone blocks in here, and that will allow Trustin to build it a little bit faster. I'm being offered Alley, which is charity, and I don't think the Architects accept charity really ever, so let's ignore that. Other things I need to do is to kill off some of these donkeys that have wandered in before they eat my crop, and we'll turn them into fine meals, which Slave 1 is already working on. We had also cleared out a herd of boomalope as well. Up north, there's a lot of weapons that have yet to be hauled away, and then at least one person with some plasteel armor that could be smelted into plasteel. That might be worth hauling at some point. So by tomorrow, Bunny's anesthesia should wear off, and we'll bring slaves to market. Prisoners to market. I use those terms very much interchangeably, sort of accidentally, I'll admit. But at this rate, we certainly have a lot of silver. I suppose if Nolak got an inspiration, I would pretty heavily consider making some sort of grand statue out of silver, which could be pretty cool. So here's Trustin setting up these doors. Once these are built, I will leave and force them open. So then the thing I'm going to do in here, it's going to be a very basic room, very empty and kind of boring. But it's really only for the Psycaster meditation efficiencies, so that my Psycasters can recoup from spending their Psycast focus and get back to Psycasting aggressively. I'm also going to wake Sven up to work drive trust in so he builds this even faster. Throwing it together at a rate that you usually do not see. Oh, compacted plasteel. Hello, hello. Mr. Storyteller, where have you been? So compacted plasteel is obviously a more efficient way of getting plasteel than deep drills. Deep drills are slower, require power, and you risk infestations from drilling. And this has no risk and all rewards. So our plasteel amount, which has been sitting at 34, is about to jump up, which may allow us to make a better prestige armor. The last prestige armor I tried to make was only excellent quality, and Bunny chose her cape and corset over the armor, which is a little upsetting, to be honest. So I'm hoping that Trustin is able to make something masterwork or better, possibly legendary, and that would be a definite benefit to us. Adding this to the home zone, and it would be auto-roofed, but setting up to be roofed. Bunny no longer has the anesthesia, so let's go ahead and send her nice and early down to Rosslesfram. And we will bring the two healthiest slaves with us, or prisoners. Man, I really do always get those two confused. And we'll bring some simple meals, some fine meals, some berries, meds, a bed. There's certainly a lot of stuff that I could sell to them. At some point, I should start getting rid of all the statues that are built up. It's kind of nice to have them in the colony for colony wealth, but they are worth a whole lot, and selling them provides a lot of benefit. But for now, this run is going to be the prestige armor that nobody wants, that I don't want to smelt down, and the corsets, and I'll bring a few thousand silver with me as well. The route time is very, very quick, so this shouldn't take too long. And she'll be back, ready to do the complex with me soon. Let's go ahead and get a standing lamp in there, nice and centered. Wearing tainted apparel. Well, then take it off, ferret. Don't make it my problem. So Fieldy and Lobster have been sold, or is in the process of getting sold, so I'm going to move these beds over. And pretty soon we're just going to have one weird, empty, vestigial prison. Because I don't have a lot of trust that it will be useful. All right, let's get rid of the stockpile there. And this becomes a bit of a thoroughfare, which might make it a little dirty, but I think it will be fine in the long run. And then what we'll be doing is moving all of the masterwork sculptures that I have in the colony in there to see if this is indeed a viable solution for meditation. But it would be great if we get a focal point for Legendary, because Legendary is going to be the most bang for a buck. So far, I don't believe that No Luck has hit the Legendary jackpot. I think it's just been Masterworks. So if we put a meditation spot... Oh, we are at Rosslesfram. Okay. Let's go ahead and strip the slaves first. Sell them. And one could argue that I would make more money organ harvesting them. And I get that. I understand that. But this is certainly sort of easier. Now, these guys don't really have... These guys don't really have any money on them. So I have to figure out what I want to buy to offset. Perhaps I could buy gold. And keep some of the gear that I have. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I'm very tempted to buy that mono sword, but the way the Archonexus works is, if I bought it, I'd have to spend a slot to keep it. Mass Chaos Skip. I suppose that wouldn't be terrible to own. There's a situation where it might come in handy. So there we go. They get to keep a little bit. It's fine. And we return home. Oh, yet another masterwork. So if we take a look here, and I assign Sven, and, well, Bunny's not here, but I send Sven to this meditation spot, we'll see how efficient it is compared to the throne. Huh. I was hoping that was No Luck's legendary, but, well, no luck. Wow, finally! A royal tribute collector. I honestly did not think that was coming. So, here's the thing. I have to decide what prisoners and slaves... Obviously, all the prisoners are going to be sold. But what slaves are going to be given up? So, I think... You were going to be named Slave 2? No, not 32. Man, I am quite surprised by that. I'm just going to call the ones I'm giving up generic slaves. And I am going to get rid of these 4 as well. Trusted. Before we do this, I want these 4 slaves to go into my stockpile and strip. Because they have gear that I'm not willing to part with, as it's not necessary to part with my unwealth. Okay. And they're going to travel up to the prison there. Oh, great. A social fight. And then they are also going to strip the prisoners. Because again, I don't care if these guys are naked either. I'm taking everything. Everything. Leave them with nothing. Trusted, I'm going to have to wake you up. And you are going to go trade with the Empire of the Moon's traders there. And undraft you all. And then assign you to naked. I don't want you wearing clothing. Trustin's on his way. And here we are. Oh, the day has come. So now we'll be down to... Oh, keep slave 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slaves. And 30 honor coming Trustin's way. I would donate gold, but it doesn't really change the amount of honor I get. Except... And Trustin is now going to jump up to Knight, I believe. He's 2 away from Praetor. Okay. Unfortunately, Bunny had just sold 2 additional slaves, but I couldn't know that that was coming. I am honestly surprised it even did. So I'm going to wait till Bunny gets home so that she can attend the knighting ceremony. I don't want to do it without her because the more people... Oh, wow. The more people that are in attendance in the ceremony, the better. Oh, here we go. Yet another slave to enslave. Hey, Tristan. Go capture. And this is whose relative? Slave 2's husband? Yeah, Slave 2. I don't care. Unfortunately, actually, this angers Westinia. So the evil choice, obviously, would be to enslave them. But the thing is, part of the Archonexus quest is to be allied with Westinia. So, no, I'm actually not going to enslave them. I digress. I'm going to rescue because... And how quick are they bleeding? Very quick. Okay, Trustin, we're going to have you tend without medicine. I'm going to rescue because I need reputation with Westinia to achieve the Archonexus. So imprisoning and enslaving them is not going to work in my favor in the long run. So I'm playing the long game here. You're welcome, Batowski, or whatever your name is. Bart. I'll call you Kim Bart. Alright, Bunny's home. Bring in... Oh, I guess I didn't sell the sculpture, but bringing a lot of silver with me. But most of the silver that I left with. The Mass Chaos Skip and some of the items that I stripped off of the slaves. Part of me almost wants to go back to Rossisfrom and just buy those slaves back and donate them here. But I think there will be other opportunities to imprison and enslave. So, up here... Oh, you guys are, like, unconscious, aren't you? And that's why you couldn't be donated? Ah, hold on. So the psi focus gain rate right now for Sven is 90%, if you were wondering. And then if I delete this focal point, I believe the throne here is a total of 86% or something like that. Or 83%. So it's stronger to do the art. So now I want to get rid of Snowy and Ferret. I think they were sleeping at the time. So I'm stripping Snowy. Is Ferret able to get up? Is he conscious? Yeah, okay. So I am going to get my Praetor. Snowy and Ferret. And now, Praetor. Delicious. Okay, cool. This whole facility is now defunct. I do want to haul everything out of there, of course. But I am going to break down all these lamps, break down the NPM. I don't need any of that now. Break down the doors, maybe not these doors. But break down all the doors I don't need. And we'll slowly disassemble this facility piece by piece. So let's kick off the Praetor ceremony. I need a throne for Trustin. Oh, well that's a bit of a problem because I don't have A, the gold, or B, the spot. We'll have to consider that soon. So as far as gold goes, let's see. Do I have underground gold nodes known? Uranium. I don't believe I have any gold spots. So we are going to have to rummage around for some gold, I suppose, or buy it before I'm able to do another throne. Now I believe that his title requires just a regular old meditation throne. Let me double check. A Praetor requires a regular meditation throne. So that should be actually easier to do. Let's do that. I think that it makes sense eventually to have him as having the same size throne as everybody else because you know, he is one of the trio. And having him have a Throne Junior like this is a little insulting. But this will be a stopgap measure for now. So, Trustin, build your own throne, and we will get you the title that you deserve. And I will continue to look for opportunities to get him his countship. Now, unlike Sven and Bunny, I'm going to have Trustin take utility favors and aids. Sven and Bunny here, as you can see, have combat favors, so that, you know, in times of need, I can call in combat. A Bunny and Sven is meditating at 83% there, so yes, indeed, I'm going to change this up to art. Sven and Bunny. And then in a minute, Trustin will need to have his own meditation spot because he's about to get a lot of sidecasts. And Bertowski is recovered. Well, can walk. Here, get out. As nicely as I can put it, get out. So now, Trustin has a throne. Trustin's bedroom is probably going to need to be spruced up a bit, I think. Which is something that I'm going to need to do. But the problem is I don't have a lot of slate right now. I think all of our slate went to art. New research. Let's see here. I've been trying to invest as much as I can into their own... Maybe I'll do artificial metabolism. Their own implants so that they become superhuman. And Sven, you should be not in the dark. So let me move that light instead of destroy it. Okay. At this point, I can accept the Praetor ceremony and have everyone come inside, getting ready for the ceremony. I'm going to have the slaves clean so the throne room is nice and tidy and everybody is ready. All right, and here they come. Everyone in attendance. Begin the ceremony. I don't have the participants that is required for the most. Hang on. That quality there for the room impressiveness, I can bring this up a little bit. So I'm going to quickly throw a little bit of this art in this room so as to maximize at least the impressiveness. I can't increase the participants, but I can increase the art. So here we go. 1 and 2. All right, now this is the best I can do. 84%. Excuse me, you're not allowed to eat that. So rude. I hope these guys leave soon, because that's a lot of naked slaves, and they're coming to steal my food. And they don't respect forbidden doors. I hate guests. I hate guests. So there we are, a grandiose ceremony. So I get even more honor as a result. I have a bunch of permits to take. So I am going to grab the transport shuttle, which is incredibly useful. And then I have additional to take. I will take the labor team and then the food drop. These are going to be really useful when I ascend the Archonexus, because the labor team and a food drop will help to kickstart the next colony. Additionally, Trustin has learned a whole lot of psycasts, so now I have to assess whether or not I want him meditating. Stun, Words of Joy, Chaos Skip, and Wall Raise? No, don't meditate. Stun is useful, but the amount of times I can stun with Sven and Bunny means that there's really no need for Trustin to even know how to stun in combat. So there we are, Praetor Trustin. And he is going to be happy for some time, receiving the Praetor title in a grandiose ceremony. His bedroom is indeed undignified, and this is a result of a lack of impressiveness, the end table and the dresser. So let's go make that. And unfortunately, I can't make it out of slate at the moment because I do lack the slate. So I'm going to suspend this and make it out of slate purposefully. So slate blocks adding to both. Well, let's take a look. There should still be, yeah, there's still slate here on the map tile. So we'll get these slaves to make some slate for me. And the marble sculpture. I'll install in bunnies. And this into Trustin's. So at the very least, we could do the end table, and then we'll have the slate. And then I'm also going to want to replace the floor. So let's put some steel in here. Steel for floor. So I'm going to do the same sort of spike core plating here that we have in the other bedrooms, so that the trio are all sort of on equal footing. Now, I have no idea what to do about the symmetry in here, but I think this is going to just be makeshift for now, and then in the next iteration of this colony, I will make sure to have a throne room for all three. I didn't really expect to require 3 grand thrones in the first iteration of the colony here. It's relatively surprising. All right, Trustin is now breaking down. Why are you there? Oh, that's weird. All right, I've turned these all for slaves, and at this point, I want all of my slaves to help haul this loot here before it gets ruined. So I believe to make this ideal, I need just one more statue. There we go. So that is the 9th. Bunny is meditating at 90%. Let's see. Does one more statue help me at 92? Yep. And then I think there's no additional benefit for going above 9 statues. As you can see, this doesn't raise her up to 94. So if I got legendaries, this would be faster. But 92% is a lot faster than the 83% for the meditation throne. So this now is a much faster way to gain psi focus so that we spend less of our day praying and more of our day slaying, I guess. I should have treated, you know, Bartowski, can you leave? Just leave the map tile. Stop stealing other people's beds. Trustin is ready for the room makeover. So let's get him to start constructing that. And we had enough plasteel to start another prestige recon armor. I really am hoping this one is better quality than the last. All right, Trustin, that's enough with the telescope. Go build your bedroom, please. Before you get upset that it's not built right. And what I could do is actually have no luck hit production command and just wait here. Or actually, no luck, what you could do is you could help out. Temporarily, I'll just have you be a constructor with Trustin. Get this done fast. This production command helps others around you. As you can see, increases, well, they just split up. Increases the construction speed and the labor speed. So extreme base makeover. The guest that I had here just left the math tile for 15 rep, which is great. And no luck, you're done. Let's get all this steel out of the bedroom now, because steel is ugly. Which is sad, because all the slaves are like, wait, you just told us to put this here. It's like, yep, and I changed my mind. And now Trustin's bedroom is impressive enough to meet the dignified level. I'm just missing the dresser. And the dresser here is going to get made now. All right. The slaves can be pulled off of hauling, including Zleb. And now that all is missing is the cloth drape, but he doesn't have a rank that requires a drape yet. So these bedrooms are 89, 102, and 80 or 98 impressiveness. The throne room is 167. So that's going to meet everybody's requirements. And then we have this beautiful statue garden for prayer. I know the room looks boring, but it's sort of min-maxed as is pretty effective. Let's push the dining room up to unbelievably impressive again, installing this additional art that has just been sitting here in the stockpiles. And then all of the clothing that the ex-slaves that I had were wearing, I'm going to unforbid that, because some of that might be better than what our current slaves have on, so they could swap to it. Rosslesfrum is going to restock in 19 days, Lindsay City in 17. So there's not really a lot of trade opportunities out there for a bit. Now that we've removed all the furniture, it's time to remove the roof, and then I'm going to remove the entire facility. It's all going to get torn down. If I was to make a prisoner confinement area, I would obviously want it as close to the kitchen as possible to minimize walking time and the like. So if I ever try to take on as many prisoners as I had before, which I don't even know if I'm going to do because of the not necessary amount of honor that I have left to obtain with Trustin, I would design it differently. So we are Praetor with 7 out of the 14 to Baron. We need a total of 65 to hit count, and we are well on our way. So there's not too much more to go for him to hit count. And I'm definitely hoping to manage to do that. All right, last but not least, we break the walls down. I don't want to break the beds down. At least not yet. Beds can be sold as furniture to traders and the like. So we'll break everything but the beds down, and then the cables can go as well. I don't need cables running up there. I don't even really need the uranium mini turrets there, but the thing is I kind of filled in here where the uranium mini turrets were going to be. So what I could do is if I have power running like this, I could line the back with the uranium mini turrets as well. That's not a terrible idea. Or at least just put a few in. There. You don't want the cables that they're falsely plugged into too close to the turrets, or the cables could blow. Trade with Kanto. They want some crowns, and they're willing to give me stuff. It's not that great of a trade, though. The reason being, it's 1,500 worth of stuff to give them for 2,000 worth of reward. And knowing Trusted in his ability to make really high quality crowns, I'm basically giving them stuff worth more than 2K for a 2K reward. So no, I'm not taking that. It doesn't pay for itself. Not even really close. Our dining room is back up to unbelievably impressive because it's full of statues. And Trustin is well, and same with Zleb. They're well on their way to breaking down the old prisoner facility here. Hauling the furniture that we don't need into the stockpiles. The one thing I didn't manage to get to do this episode was to go to the complex, but the amount of progress I made with Trustin, getting him from a no rank to a praetor, was, I would say, well worth it. Or at least I hope that's what you all think. Pretty decent amount of progress for a short period of time. And now all that's left is stripping up the floors here. And this monument is done. Oh, and here is an old installation, yet another ancient complex to hack information about the Relic of Suppression. So now there's 2 of them. We just researched artificial metabolism, and I haven't even made any of the modifications for circadian assistant or the artificial metabolism. So that's something I'm going to want to do soon. But let's go ahead and get marine armor, because I wouldn't mind wearing marine helmets instead of recon helmets, as they have all the benefits of recon helmets, but they're just a little bit stronger. And I'll switch the stone cutters back to any stone now that we have the slate furniture for Trustin's bedroom. And we have a tiny bit of slate left over, but really not that much. The slaves that are here, I would like to start stone cutting again, but it seems like all but slave 2, or slave 1 rather, is really busy just mining. We have a lot of mining going on, both of steel and plasteel, and we're certainly using that plasteel pretty quickly. As you can see, it is disappearing almost instantly, being used up in a productive way by Trustin trying to make better armor for us. Not with a lot of luck, though. Armor that we've made so far is bad. Or at least not good enough to warrant wearing. This one's Masterworks. That pattern might change. But this, my friends, is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to episode 35 of the Archotechs. It would be my honor. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to take part in the polls that determine how the Archotechs will change after the first Archonexus, please join Discord, because soon I will be putting up a form about how we will change our ideology. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to all my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode. Stay safe out there, fellow Archotechs.